Karls, we study gender to understand gender inequalities and gender identities better.
But what is there to study about gender? Does it not only mean whether we are born as a girl or boy?
No, that refers to our birth sex anatomy. The different biological and physiological characteristics of males and females, such as chromosomes or hormones, are different. On the other hand, gender means the socially created ideas based on the biology of sex that works as a system of norms and hierarchy in society and teaches us to behave in gender-specific ways.
How does this help us make sense of inequalities and interactions in the world we live in?
You see, in this social construction, men and women are thought to be different and opposite from one another. Society considers masculine as directly opposite to feminine. Women are usually thought to be soft and caring, and men strong and rational. But the ideas are culturally bound and different in Germany compared to the United Kingdom.
Oh, I see. So we divide women and men into gender roles based on their physical characteristics at birth, and then apply this to everyone regardless of who they are or what they want to be in this world.
Precisely. The socially created ideas of gender force people into fixed categories.
And, even worse, people who don't fit into society's idea of masculine and feminine get considered abnormal and can face exclusion and even violence. A soft-mannered and caring man might hear that they are not a real man, or a person may experience a troubling identity if they feel neither a man or woman.
I think I get it now. Gender is an artificial and often harmful construction that orders people into right and wrong. People try to behave as expected from their gender in order to fit
in. Yes, and there is more to this. Gender is also a hierarchical idea. This means that all that represents men and masculinity is societally seen of higher value than what represents women and femininity.
And this leads to further inequalities. As there's a positive bias towards men in almost everything we do and think, we might for instance give those assumed to be guys more space to express themselves in group work. Or we think men's efforts and opinions are more important than those by other genders, and we indeed elect male assumed people more often to be our leaders.
That's why the work or sports that are carried out by men are better compensated.
Yes, there's this idea that men are better suitable for some jobs than women, and the other way around. Even though caregiving, which is constructed as a feminine sphere of action, is crucial to society, it is not as highly valued as, say, engineering.
This causes gendered effects in working life, such as different career paths for different genders and sexual harassment when someone is considered to be in the wrong place.
But doesn't this theory create polarities between women and men, and thus unrest?
This is not the purpose at all. We are not talking about a competition, and by far not blaming individual people for gender inequalities. Instead, the theory helps us understand the social processes that affect how we behave and think of different people. This helps us to be more open and accepting towards ourselves and others.
We will speak more of this in the coming videos. On this video series, we speak about how different forms of inequality take place, and by this understanding, create an environment that is as safe and inclusive as possible and offer all support structures required for students.